Storm Watch 12 weather with meteorologist Josh Culbreath.
Welcome back to News Watch 12 midday, and we still have these wind advisories that are in place. One for the west side, or a couple different for the west side until 1 p.m. this afternoon, and then for the east side this goes until 4 p.m. this afternoon. So wind gusts are still pretty strong, especially for Klamath Falls, for Montague, and for Weed, where those winds are gusting upwards of 40 miles per hour. And shout out to Gold Beach as well, where we're starting to get pretty close to 40 miles per hour there too. So throughout the rest of the day, we can see winds gusting upwards of 60 miles per hour for the east side, up to 50 miles per hour for the Shasta Valley. So we've lucked out thus far when it's come to power outages and when it's come to damage reports from the wind. So hopefully we can continue that momentum through the rest of the day. So we do have some showers that are dotting the map this midday, but not very much. So I'll show you what happens during the rest of the day with Stormcast, and all of this continues to peter out. Then by the time we get to the time frame after dinner time, all of us are going to be dry. Yes, it'll be overcast. That means that overnight lows are going to be pretty mild. And then as we head into Saturday, we're going to be dry to start off the day. But then as we get into the late afternoon, early evening, this starts to approach from the south. And that's when we're going to start to see some more widespread travel impacts when you compare it to some of the travel impacts we saw from this morning, because this morning's system wasn't all that wet, but this one will be. So this will continue into the evening of Saturday and then well into Sunday as well. So here are some of those projected rainfall totals through Saturday night, and this does not encompass the entirety of this next storm system, because keep in mind we're going to have more rain and more snow as we head into the rest of the day on Sunday. So this isn't a complete picture, but it's just kind of a good idea where we're going to have the most rainfall down towards Mount Shasta City, along the coast, up in the Cascades, anywhere between ½ an inch to an inch, and some less impressive totals for the west side valleys and for the east side. So snow levels are going to start off around 5,500 feet during the, again, late afternoon, early evening. That's when everything's going to arrive, but then snow levels falling and down to around 4,000 feet for Sunday morning, then staying pretty consistently at 4,000 feet for the rest of the day on Sunday. So all that to say, the biggest snowfall totals are going to be down towards Mount Shasta City, 2 to 3 inches there, and then we'll have 4 to 8 inches on those passes in Siskiyou County, including Snowman Summit and Blackview Pass, and then 4 to 8 inches we could also expect for Diamond Lake and for Crater Lake. Maybe just trace amounts on Oregon 140 for the east side, and then not really seeing anything in the way of snow for the west side. So for today, rain and snow tapering off. Winds will start to back off, especially as we head into the afternoon and evening. We'll be left with some breezy conditions for Siskiyou County, the coast, and the Cascades. But remember on Stormcast, very cloudy. That means temperatures are going to be pretty mild overnight. Maybe we could have a shower or two left over for Mount Shasta City and along the coast, but that's about it. And we're tracking that next storm system like you saw in Stormcast for Saturday afternoon into the evening throughout most of the day on Sunday. And so winds are going to start to pick up on Saturday. We don't have any wind advisories in place ahead of that, but just keep in mind that winds will still be an issue, but I think we're mainly concerned about the travel impacts for Sunday. Here's your 7-day forecast for the coast. Rain looking likely for the rest of today, and then more shower chances into Saturday, but especially into Sunday, and maybe even seeing a little bit of thunder as well. For Siskiyou County, we'll kind of teeter-totter back and forth between rain and snow over the next few days. The snow levels are going to be anywhere between 3,500 to 5,500 feet over the next few days. For the east side, I think most of us are going to remain dry from this storm system, but for the next one, snow showers are looking more likely for Sunday. So I think we could have some better snowfall totals on Oregon 140, which means that we could have some better snowfall totals for the Cascades and Siskiyous, so we could add to the snowpack, which we've actually taken away from over the past couple of weeks just because we've been so dry. And then for the Rogue Valley, actually a pleasant day for the first part of Saturday, but then the storm system rolls in late Saturday into Sunday.
And we're kind of seeing that similar pattern play out in places like up in the mountains where we're continuously getting precipitation, but it's also windy. So is that going to become a problem sometime next week once the ground starts to really kind of get saturated? Could we see more risks of trees falling, roadway impacts, power impacts? Yeah,
let me get my forecast sheet here. It doesn't look too windy in the next week, so I wouldn't be too concerned about it. I'd be more concerned about it for tomorrow because winds are going to be back gusty. So let me look at
All the sheets.
Yeah, another I have like 3 papers in front of me. So winds could gust upwards of 60 miles per hour for the Shasta Valley, for the east side, up to 50 miles per hour for the mountains, for the Rogue Valley, for the coast. So there aren't any wind advisories in place ahead of that storm system. But if we saw, some spotty power outages here or there, if we saw damage to trees, power lines, I wouldn't be too surprised.
Okay, probably not a great weekend to go skiing either.
I wouldn't.
Okay.
I wouldn't go skiing personally.
No, definitely not in that weather. Okay, thank you, Josh.
Of course.